Hi, babes. Welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly show. I am your host, Kelly Chase. Guys, in just a couple of weeks, it will be the 5-year anniversary that Love is Blind season 1 aired, meaning it is 5 years since the concept of Love is Blind. Like the show itself made its debut to Netflix, where there were 30 million viewers that watched Love is Blind season 1. It feels like it was yesterday, and it feels like it was 10 years ago. It is wild to think that 5 years ago was when my life changed in so many different ways. And so many different, incredible opportunities, from having people on the podcast. Yeah, I launched my podcast a year after Love is Blind aired. I launched the Chase Life with Kelly show, and I invited guests that they were dream guests, but some responded and were like, yeah, sure, of course, we'd love to be on your podcast. And how amazing that, these were like celebrities or celebrities to me, some of them, like these high profile, maybe entrepreneurs who I never thought that I would even be like, have a chance to talk to communicate with. Right. Like, and they have been on the show. I think it's so cool. So I'm just celebrating that fact. But also, as you guys have been listening to the show for a while, like I have been on such a journey, like a self-love, personal development, spiritual awakening, healing journey, since technically like end of 2017, 2018. But I would say like right after we got done filming the show, which was the end of 2018, I started working one-on-one with a business and mindset coach, Erin Nicole Porter. And then from there, I worked with, it's like I've never not had a mentor or a coach of some sort because they have been so significant to my life. When the show actually aired in February of 2020, the last episodes of season 1 aired, not the after the reunion part, but like the initial like bulk, all the weddings and everything, the dating, the pods and the weddings. That was the last episode of that part ended like a week or 2 weeks before the pandemic happened. And so the world was forced to watch our show pretty much, because it's like those who were catching it like as in real time, like myself, waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to binge watch it before I had to go to work. Like, okay, they were like, wait, what is this concept? And then they were sharing it with friends and family members and everything. And it just spread like, it spread so quickly. And then it's funny because I think we were charted #1 on Netflix for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. And then Tiger King came in and booted us out of #1 spot. It was really funny. I was like, what? Tiger King, what the heck? Everybody remember that show? I actually only watched about maybe one episode, maybe even half of an episode from Tiger King. That kind of stuff is just like not my forte. Had no desire to keep watching it after 20 minutes went by. So, anyways, I just thought it was really funny. But then I went into just like a greater healing journey. And again, as you guys have been listening to the show, I've been caught up in, vanity metrics, engagement, having imposter syndrome, comparing myself to other people, engagement, it was a lot. It was a lot on my mental health. And I really, really wish that I had like giving you guys the advice. If you ever decide to go on a reality TV show, I highly encourage you to work with someone before you go on the show, before you film, while you're filming, after you're filming, and as you are going through the airing of like for the next like 6 months, after the show airs. Like I feel that you need therapy support. And I know I had Roxanne on the show, on the podcast months ago, to talk about her experience with the ultimatum. And we dove into a lot of that. And I was like, how did you manage that? And she was very transparent. She said, I actually, I've been working with, therapist for a while. And so I did have that support while I was going through the show. And I thought that was really incredible because, I didn't have that and I didn't know to ask for it. And I think I want to highlight that because people don't know that they need it until they have it. And I want to say that again. People don't necessarily know that they need it until they have it. So you not being on a reality TV show, like just your daily life presents challenges. It presents obstacles, right? And if you don't have the coping mechanisms, the coping skills and tools to help facilitate your day to day, do you imagine if you were on a reality TV show, there were 30 million viewers and like people were judging you, criticizing you, and being very projective, I don't know if that's a word, but they're projecting all of this on you on your social media. So you see it. You see it in the comments, you see it in the DMs, like you can't really hide it away. Like you can't run away from it. It's there. Or people sharing things that other people are creating and diminishing the person that you are based on what they saw on TV. It was a lot. But in your day to day, where I was going with that is you may not like because you're taking action and you're out of bed every day and you're going through life and you're still productive and you are still, successful or whatever, or you still have a relationship or whatever is like, right? like you could be like, yeah, my life's good. The is the part where a therapist or a coach of some sort would be very helpful for you to take that and turn it into something more. And it can require the healing work. So I just say that because it was highlighted to me that I definitely needed that type of support while the show was airing and afterwards. And although, yes, I have worked with coaches, I was maybe looking to coaches to help me with growing a business, really honing in on the strategy or helping me with other challenges that I was going through. And so I really it's like I needed a therapist who had worked with reality TV people. That's what I needed. And to get my brain back on board. So I feel like maybe I was distracting myself by, I feel like I need this, right? So you don't know you need it until you have it, meaning until you're working with the right person, you don't know that you need what you have. And that right person is going to reveal to you things that are going to help you to heal, that are going to help you see a different perspective and have a different perception on a situation and experience or just your life altogether. So the coaches that I invested in and mentored with since 2020 for these last 5 years, they have been impeccable for me. Yes, and honestly, they brought me so much presence because when I was on the coaching calls with them, at least I was able to just be very grounded and be very in my emotions and raw and authentic and be like, this is what I'm feeling right now. I don't know how to get out of this. I'm spiraling. I'm totally comparing myself. I feel like, my business isn't doing what I want it to be, but I'm not consistent over here and blah, 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 blah. It was very victim mindset. And I recognize that too. But they were showing me, they were helping to reveal things to me that I couldn't even see. And so it's like, I did need it. And therefore I did go ask for it. And I wish that I had just had different support throughout the whole thing. And you just don't know you need it until you have it. So highly suggest and highly encourage everyone to make a little investment in yourself. I mean, whether it's just listening to this podcast sometimes and the guest or listening to a very, very highly driven personal development, self-love, spiritual, law of attraction, that type of stuff, types of podcasts can be extremely life-changing and transformational for you. So anyways, I just feel like the show, its 5-year anniversary coming up is just crazy to me. It's just crazy. So anyways, I have been thinking since before the beginning of the year that I would start putting together some content because even funny, the other day I was out with a friend and she was like, I just still can't like believe that you did that. Like you were on the show. And I think she had a couple questions, but then, just commentary. And she's like, see, Kella, like I'm literally one of your best friends and I am still curious about certain things about it. She was like, do you know how like curious so many other people are too? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, because I've had clients of mine actually ask me like, hey, weren't you that girl from the show from Love is Blind? We have so many questions. Will you talk with us? Will you sit with us and just go through this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I love talking about the show. So I really do. Anyways, but I feel like it's imperative for me to share, not to like rehash or what was one of my biggest triggers is like, oh, she's trying to stay relevant. Like, I feel like anyone from Love is Blind who is on the show is going, like, you're always going to be relevant. Like, we were on a show. Anytime we talk about it, it's because it's a part of our story. It's not because I'm like trying to be flashy and be like, oh, let's bring it up again. I have a story to tell, just like every single one of you has a story to tell. And I encourage you to use a platform, start sharing your story because your challenge, someone else is going through too. So if I can highlight maybe certain things about my experience while I was going through the show, and even some just fun little, statistics, fun facts, then I want to be able to do that for you because it could help someone, whether you just really need to feel more secure in who you are. And perhaps me saying no at the altar gave you some type of empowerment to feel like, wow, it's okay to be me and it's okay to like say no to something that isn't necessarily ideally what I'm looking for or whatever, right? Because yes, although Kenny and I both said no at the altar and they only showed me saying no at the altar, I still said no. Like I was still saying no to that. I could not go through with that. My head and my heart were not connecting. But I just feel like there's so much healing that can come through it and empowerment, really. And perhaps maybe you're thinking, maybe I would want to go on a reality TV show at some point. So maybe just learning a little bit more. I'm not going to give like any production, behind the scenes, that kind of thing, but just learning how my mind navigated certain circumstances and situations, maybe it could help reveal like, hey, well, maybe if she went through that, maybe that is something, maybe I do need to seek, a therapist for life, for life, but also because I'm considering maybe going on a reality TV show and maybe it would be helpful for me to go ahead and like put this in place before I do that kind of thing. I want to say like there's a theory like quantum leaping and or if you're an Abraham Hicks fan, they say ask and you shall receive. Literally, I could ask for $1 million right now. And there could be a way that something like, I don't know, I could receive an email where they're like, you'll make $1 million, or something comes in the mail, or maybe I see something online and it's like, you can make $1 million. Ask and you shall receive. It's right there. But are you ready for it? Is the question. So are you open to receive what you desire? What you are asking for, are you ready to receive it? So I know my entire life I've been like, oh, I want to be an actress. I want to be a celebrity. Like it'd be so fun to have that lifestyle, right? Granted, I don't know what their lifestyle is, like a quote unquote celebrity. Like what is a celebrity? There's some celebrities out there that people don't know they're even like, well, not celebrities, but I guess like rich people. There's a lot of wealthy people that you wouldn't even know that they're rich and wealthy, right? But then there's like celebrities like, Carrie Underwood, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, those are like celebrities, like people know their names, people know who they are. Would I really want a life where there are constant cameras on me and things like that? Who knows? But there's a part of me that wanted a spotlight. That's not why I did the show, but like I love that energy. I mean, leaving when we were wrapping filming, they were like, "Oh, would you do this again?" And my response was like, "Yeah, absolutely. If there's not a wedding at the end, I would totally do this again." I loved being on set. I loved the production. I just loved being in the spotlight, being on the camera. It was fun. It was a great experience. But I wasn't ready to receive the effect, like the impact, the aftermath of the show airing, the people energy, the 30 million viewers, they just collective of all of that, of, it's like I could feel the energy and how it was like bringing me down every day. And there was just so much stuff that went on. And I know that I kind of mentioned this on my Instagram stories the other day too, but about, we were talking about TikTok and the TikTok ban and all that stuff. And I was sharing a story about where I was at, why I never really capitalized on using TikTok. And I'll share it here again real quick. But I never really used TikTok until like a year later. 2021 is when I actually started using TikTok, and I wasn't consistent then really either. But I was working with a brand manager in 2020 after the show aired, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, like you need to get on TikTok. Like you need to start making videos, capitalize on TikTok." And I was like, "I literally can't." I had a 9 to 5 job that actually I had to be there from like 7 to 4 or like 8 to 5, something like that. So like 9 hours. It was the absolute freaking worst. Like I was getting paycheck to paycheck. Like I'm so grateful. I say it was the worst. Like it was just a very stressful situation that I was in, because I had debt that I was trying to pay off. My salary from this company, I couldn't, like, what, 50 cents, like a $5 like additional that I would make on a paycheck. Like I was living paycheck to paycheck. So I actually had to have a second form of income, or three types of income, in order to pay off the debt. And I was so focused on paying off the debt that I was neglecting and abandoning myself. And I think that was the worst part. I mean, that was the worst part about it. I wound up a year later having anxiety or panic attacks. It was really, really bad. So I didn't go into TikTok because I was like, I don't have the capacity. I'm showing up on Instagram every single day, talking to my camera, doing the things. I shouldn't have done that. There's so many things I should not have done, but I did, because I think in my head, I was like, oh my God, I have such a new following. I need to like capitalize on this. And I just had this thought of like, I'm going to like monetize 400,000 people. Like I'm going to be a fucking millionaire next week. Like, holy shit, asking you shall receive, a great wish has been granted. And it didn't happen like that. And that was okay. But I was like in such a place of like lack and scarcity at the time, because I'm like struggling financially, living paycheck to paycheck, working, launching coaching programs and one-on-one coaching so that I could like try and pay off more of the debt. Brands were trying to work with me, and for me to then have to create content, I was so exhausted, and I was taking that money from the brand deals and applying it towards my debt. So yeah, a year later, 2022, I had no debt. It was beautiful. It was great. Actually, show aired 2020. So it was probably like the end of 2021 when I was debt free. I like literally all the money that I use for brand stuff, I sent it back. All the coaching stuff, I sent it over. Like I just paid down that debt as quickly as possible. So yeah, yay for me. I've been debt free since then, since like 2021. So 4 years I've been debt free. And I love that for myself. I don't even own a credit card, guys. I literally pay with the money that I make, and that's it. Or maybe some money that I've saved, right? But so that's why I didn't use TikTok the first go around and like, if I could do things differently, one, I would have a therapist during all of that. Two, I would have not focused on paying off the debt, and I would have used that money to quit my 9 to 5 and live off those brand deals, and been in a state of like groundedness, and where I wasn't so crazy feeling. I mean, I felt so crazy. I was taking Adderall to stay awake or drinking some energy drinks, and that stuff messes up my gut really bad. So I was not healthy at all. I mean, there were days I would wake up at like, not wake up, but like on Mondays, I would feel like kind of okay. Like I felt well rested. And then further on as the day, I mean, literally by Wednesday, I was already tired. I was already exhausted. By Friday, I was like, oh my God, I can't do anything. Saturdays, I would, sleep 10 hours, wake up, feel like I had only slept 30 minutes. And I was like lethargic. Like I could not move very much. And there was a day, this was closer to like that following February, or maybe like in November or something, but of 2020. But I remember a few weeks in a row that was happening. And on the weekend, on Saturday, like I said, it would like, I wanted to go, I was like, maybe it'll be helpful for me to like go for a walk or go like lay on the grass and just ground myself. And for me to get dressed and get to the park so that I could go ground myself, it took a while for me to get out of my house because I put all my clothes on. And I was so tired that I would sit on my couch. And maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 30 minutes. And I would be like, okay, Kelly, get up and go. And so I would get up and get in my car and I would drive a mile down the road to the park with my little yoga mat and I would just lay there. And then it would rejuvenate me. And I was like, okay, I feel a lot better. I feel reset. I feel refreshed. And then maybe that night, I don't know, may have done something, maybe not, but regardless, then Sunday came around and I felt a little bit better. And, I would sleep in and then Monday would come and it was just a constant cycle and it was just a lot. There's so much to go into it and I don't mean to like continue to harp on it or anything, but just all that to say, Love is Blind anniversary is around the corner, the 5-year anniversary. And I am going to be creating content around it because I think it's really fun. I'm going to share my story. Hopefully it'll help you guys. Or if anything, you just have a better understanding of like where my story for Love is Blind and where it all started. And I don't know. I just feel like it'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. If you actually do have questions about Love is Blind, like please DM me the questions that you have. Like you literally anything is on the table, like put anything, it's on the table. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Nothing is off the table. That's what I'm trying to say. Nothing is off the table. I mean, granted, there may be some questions that I cannot answer just like legally, but for the most part, I want to be able to answer as many questions as possible. Like, how did you get started? How did you apply? Blah, 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 blah. Like anything like that. Did you really like him? Are you still friends with anyone from the show? Are you still friends with the guy? Whatever questions that you have, or if you have specific scenes that still, stick out to you and you're like, why did she do this? Or how did she respond during this? Or why did you respond that way? Or what was really happening, during this scene? I would love to answer those types of questions. So, please DM me that. Two other things that I wanted to talk about is, so I am an affiliate for a program that I've partnered basically with Christine Hassler and Stefanos. He was on the podcast recently. He was talking a lot about like masculine energy and all of that. And anyways, so how to attract your partner, how to become a magnet to the type of partner that you desire. Guys, I'm still in it, right? Like I'm single. I don't have a boyfriend. I would like one. I'll be 40 this year. And I am hyper aware that there are certain things, there are certain fears, there are certain stories that I still am holding on to that I could use a little bit more work around, a little bit more healing work around, being more vocal and standing in my truth and in my power. I'm pretty hyper aware that I could use some work around that too. So anyways, there is a 3-day free workshop, February 11th through 13th. It's called the Love Magnet 3-day free workshop. And it's in the show notes. You can go to christinehassler.com/Kelly and go ahead, learn more about it. Again, it's a free, so you can just register right online. It takes 2 seconds to register. And then you can join us live on February 11th, 12th, and the 13th for the Love Magnet 3-day free workshop. Again, it will help if you are, let's say you just got out of a breakup. It would be great for that to help you start your healing journey. If let's say you are a single woman and you have done work, maybe you're very much like me. You have done a lot of healing. You've done therapy, you've worked with coaches. You do a lot of personal development. You are a very conscious woman and you are just looking to attract a conscious man. You're done with dating apps. Like that stuff is just like not in your realm anymore. I highly suggest that you get on this to do a little bit deeper dive. And I'm sure that this workshop, as well as the Be the Queen program that will come out afterwards. The Be the Queen program essentially, but you'll get so much from just the 3-day workshop. And again, it's free. But if you are single, you just got, broken up with, or you just broke up with someone, perhaps you even are in a relationship and you want to determine, is this person the right one for me? I'm still just like not totally sure. This type of these workshops, as well as the Be the Queen program, will help you to do the healing work and create the awareness and really dive deeper into exploring who am I, and how can I shift the energy inside of me to attract the type of relationship that I desire. Maybe you need to recognize maybe you don't know what your patterns around dating, love, and relationships are. Or maybe you do recognize the patterns and you're like, why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Like, I'll raise my hand, the quality of men and the type of men that I have attracted in the last handful of years have been so impeccable. And even in the last 6 months, so great. Like, not that I haven't really been dating a lot, but I just meet people, right? Like, even just the people that come into your sphere are at a different frequency. They're at a different vibration for me. And the quality of conversations, how deep we can go, it has been extremely riveting. It's been really refreshing to have that. But if you were vibrating at a lower frequency, you aren't really open to that. You're not open enough to receive that. So it doesn't come into your environment. So when you start doing the healing work, you're opening your heart up a little bit more. You're creating and changing the neural pathways in your mind. So things start to shift. You start to expand your consciousness, and therefore you begin to elevate at a higher frequency. You vibrate at a higher frequency, and you call in the love of your life. So I'm trying to call in the love of my life. And I think I'm this close. I'm very, very close to it. So I want you all to be close to it too. And I want you to drop the fear as well. There's so many of y'all that are in relationships that you're like, I don't really know if I should be in this. If I get really deeply honest with myself, I don't know if this is it. But I don't want to start the whole dating process over again and blah, blah, blah. Honey, do not settle. Because you have one life, and I want you to live an incredible life with a partner who aligns very magically for you. And it's just very symbiotic. I've been using that word a lot lately, but it's true. You want to have symbiotic relationships with people. So anyways, definitely check that out. If that resonates, if it aligns, all of it. I think even if you have a really healthy relationship, at least the 3-day free workshop could be very beneficial for you to even go deeper and elevate the love and the beautiful relationship that you already have. Maybe you and your partner sit there and watch and go through the 3-day workshop and be like, oh, okay, maybe we should explore that part of our relationship, or, whatever. Oh, we've never talked about that. Or maybe it just opens up a conversation. So I think it'd be highly beneficial regardless. So yeah, check it out. ChristineHassler.com/Kelly. And I do make commission on, if you decide to join the Be the Queen program, I do make commission on that. So I just want to be full transparency. But I believe in this work. I've been doing it for a long time. And I think, like I said, I am going through the Be the Queen program right now. But I also will be joining the 3-day free workshop, because I know they're going to say, different things, and what they're saying, not different, but they're going to highlight some things from Be the Queen that may be extremely beneficial. The calls for the 3-day free workshop are 60 to 90 minutes, I believe. So it's definitely these people are taking their time. And I believe that investing your time and energy into shifting things for your world so that you can live a happier, more joyful life and call in the love of your life is worth it. So that's one thing. The next thing I want to discuss really briefly. So the last week, I just want to say this, I think that I have been a bit in imposter syndrome. I know I have, and I have been, because I am speaking. I was very ambitious at the very beginning of this year. And I was like, I want to I want to do some speaking gigs. I want to do more of this. I want to do more of that, blah, 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 blah. And I booked a speaking gig. And I think there's going to be a lot of people there that, and it's great, but there are people that are going to be there that are in my industry that I currently go my 9 to 5. And these women are extremely successful business owners. Maybe they own multiple businesses, or they have multiple streams of income. And y'all know my struggle. It's not to say that I'm like really happy and content, right? And I would like to be bringing in money consistently through a second or third stream of income, which I do bring in money, but it's just not consistent. Let's put it that way. Not right at the moment. Things are going to change. I know that. And granted, I haven't been promoting my coaching. Well, I mean, Goddess Magic, yes, I promote my course on here, and sometimes on Instagram, but I don't do like high level ticket, I don't do any like one-on-one coaching right now, which could definitely be a game changer for me, but I just don't have the time capacity to do that right now. So I am just trying to navigate some things, but also like opening myself up to other joys that might be able to bring in money for me, like the runway modeling, it's opening different doors, and maybe I could land like a modeling gig out of that. And then I don't know. It's just like, I'm leaning into what lights me up right now. And if the money doesn't come right now, that's okay, because I just know that the money is going to come later. And even if it didn't, like, I'm still happy. Right. But we all could use a little bit more money to do more things. So it's fine. But anyway, so I think I just felt a little imposter syndrome, because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going to be speaking on stages with these women that are bringing in, they do have these successful money-making businesses, and, it's just different, but it doesn't matter because that's their story and mine is different and all of that. But I just felt like I wanted to share that because I don't know if anyone else is feeling the imposter syndrome or comparing yourself to anyone, like, stop it. Okay. Like we all have our own story and we all have our own journey. So let's just agree that be okay with where you're at right now. And that's what I had to do in the last like 48 hours, was be okay with where I'm at right now and stop the the mental insanity of just, ruminating on like, but oh my gosh. Because I had to remind myself, I kind of had to like do just a reflection of reminding myself, Kelly, you run this like extremely popular show. You've gone through all this stuff. You have a podcast and it is successful. I mean, I love my podcast. I love doing this. I love talking to you guys. I love, connecting with you on Instagram. I am successful. I don't have to be a billionaire to be successful, right? I'm happy. I think that's the biggest thing, is like, to be successful is just being happy. So I'm happy. Can I be more successful and more happier? Sure. But anyways, I just wanted to presence that if you're feeling imposter syndrome, like that you're not good enough, or, oh, well, they have this, this, and this, and you don't have that, so you're not worthy enough. Like, who are you to speak on the stage, or who are you to create content, or who are you to launch a business, or who are you to be the PTO mom, right? Like, above someone else. Like, yes, you can be. Okay. We all can be everything. So drop the imposter syndrome and just accept yourself and where you're at in your journey, because your story is still amazing and incredible and it's cool. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. I know this was kind of a interesting podcast episode, but it's kind of just what was on my heart. And I love that I can express that. This is my way to do that here. So I hope that I get to see you in the 3-day free workshop called Love Magnet. And again, it is christinehassler.com/Kelly. And I will catch you next week. All right. Love you guys.